Welcome to a new video. As you can tell, I'm no longer in a basement. I've actually moved into a 600 square foot warehouse. It's actually a co-warehousing space. The purpose of it is so tons of small businesses can actually set up inside their own little mini warehouses and have their own businesses, and it's super, super cool. It's called Flex, etc. The biggest change that I've noticed going from my basement for the past couple years to a warehouse is the separation between my business and my personal life, and to be able to just not hear printers cycle through every couple hours, not have the smell of solvent or UV ink in the house, and really just being able to come into work and just dial in. And a lot of people like to work from home, but me personally, I prefer to not work at home and somewhere to go into, and that's why I've really enjoyed having this space. And on top of that, I have all four walls that I can use for my business versus before I only had the one wall, because I had a screen door on one wall, a door and a closet on the other, and then stairs on the other. So I was super limited to my space, and we'll go through all the changes that I've made. And I'm sure a lot of you guys heard about the what they're calling the sticker gate. Some sticker companies posting political agendas or political statements online, which whatever, your business is your business, but it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But one thing that a lot of sticker companies noticed was a surge in sales. We saw 3-4 times the sales, so it helped me pay for a lot of the movement, allowed me to look into more machines and stuff like that. So it was super cool, but it was also like, why, you know? But I'm not going to touch too much on that because it's not super important to the grand scheme of things. My only goal here is to turn that bigger revenue into consistency throughout the year and into next year. But one thing that I've really been trying to balance is where to put my attention. About 6-7 months ago, I pretty much cut off all other social medias personally and for the business except for Instagram. Anything else is just cross-posted. The reason for this was because I saw something that worked on Instagram and it was bringing in business. So I wanted to focus on that and kind of master that. I went from almost 1,000 followers at the time and early part of this year up to almost 20,000 now. That metric isn't the measurement of success in this scenario, but if I can do that across other channels, that would be awesome. But it's tough to balance what I'm trying to do on Instagram across other platforms because they all work differently. People react differently on different platforms. People scroll at different times on platforms. So I'm looking more into YouTube. I don't want to go too much into TikTok. There's a lot in the air about it. I know a lot of people bring a lot of money in on it, and it helps a lot of businesses. But I think come New Year, I might change my mind depending on where everything falls in the US with TikTok. I think the next attention I want to put for is YouTube. Another thing that I've been thinking about, or that's been on my mind, is which machine to purchase next. I have a couple machines that are new since the last video I made that I'll go over, and I'll go over what my roles are with each of those machines. But a big thing that I'm trying to focus on is how can I scale the productivity so I can focus more on sales? And the two that I'm balancing is another solvent machine with a white ink configuration or a new laminator. This one's great, but it's only cold, so I can't do UV laminations. And I'll get more into that. Struggle with not being able to do UV laminations means anything with white ink, I can't laminate it. So when I'm printing holographic stickers with white ink, I don't laminate it. Again, it's fine for the sole purpose of longevity. It can last 4 to 5 years, the UV ink, but people are used to getting laminated stickers from all these other bigger brands. So it's not more so a scenario of quality. It's a scenario of comfort for my customers, and that's part of the product testing. I think it's a great product without the lamination, don't get me wrong, and it's honestly as good as with lamination, but the lamination people are used to, and you can choose between matte and gloss doing that, and I think that's a huge benefit. So if I get the lamination, I'll be able to use it across both machines. If I get a solvent printer with white ink, I can just continue using this. Because I got this so cheap, it's almost like got a free laminator basically in comparison to the cost of those machines. So in the next couple months, I'll either get a heat-assisted laminator that'll laminate both prints, or I'll get a solvent printer with white ink. And that kind of leads me into the next point where I want to take the business. Right now it's just me. I'm doing all of the production, I'm doing all the proofing, and I'm doing all of the promotion. I guess it's 3 Ps. It can be tough because, you know, when times are really busy, I'm spending all of my time printing and not doing sales and marketing and stuff. But when times are slow, I'm doing all these sales and marketing and not enough production. So there is a balance, yes, but to be able to do sales even when times are busy would be huge. I think it would take the business to the next step, but for now, I'm just trucking along until I can get to the point where I can hire someone. And I don't want to just hire anyone for a wage. I want to bring someone in that's close, or someone that's family or friends, and someone I can trust to do the job as well as I feel like I've been doing, and putting the attention into the product quality the way I've been doing. I know I want to grow this thing. I know I see a growth pattern. I'm watching the numbers kind of go up slowly, and I'm seeing where things are working and seeing where things aren't working and making those adjustments. So hopefully that in the long run, that'll pay off. But I want to take this thing in the next year to the point where I have at least one employee. That's the goal by the next 12 months. Yeah, let's get into the new warehouse, what the new machines are. I'll give you a little short tour of this place, and let's go. So there's tons of warehouse spaces available here. And if you go down to mine, here's what we'll see. Got the new Sticker Shuttle logo up here. Little camera section over here, backgrounds, all my rolls of vinyl, backing table for the laminator. Got my working desk over here. This is where I do all my proofing and all the other stuff I do. Got a couple samples out here of some 3D embossed stickers, as well as some gloss, some holographic, some glitter, a couple other things. I used to have my lamination roll up here, but now because I have a laminator, I don't need to do that anymore. So this has just become a shipping station, a little crafty station to where I can cut small stuff. I've got the GraphTech FC9000 here. This is the first plotter that I got. I don't use it as much anymore. I should probably sell it. And here's the big one. Here's the FC9000. This is the 160. So this is going to be 64-inch plotter. The first machine that you guys are all well aware of. This is a CJV 150 75. So that means it's 30 inches. I have it on a roll right now. Last night I was printing some stickers on a roll. This is the new machine that you guys have not seen yet. I picked this up used out of Kansas. Wichita, Kansas. There was a print shop that was there for 122 years. They were closing down, and they'd had this for a couple years. It needed a little bit of work. I got it done, got everything replaced. This was back in April or May, and got everything going, and it has been a beast of a machine for me. It's a UV printer, so it can print CMYK, white and clear. That means I can do 3D embossed stuff. I can do clear labels like this so that I can add white behind it. I can do all types of stuff. I can do better quality vinyl laminate or vinyl banners. The only problem that I'm running into with that is I cannot cold laminate. So like I said in that video before, I can't decide if I want to get a lamination machine that works with both of these machines, or if I want to get a new printer that will allow me to use this laminate. Tough decision for me. I got this laminator for so cheap, so that's what's balancing it, is basically a scratch off. I paid total with help moving and everything like 500 bucks. So totally worth it. These are $5,000 to $10,000 machines when they were new. But yeah, so that's the new print shop. Before I get into my new process and explaining that, I want to show you something pretty cool. So this just came in. This is a new General Formulations GF767 glitter sticker paper. I've been looking for a new glitter sticker paper because my last one, while the top is pretty much identical looking, the difference is the backing was very, very paper-like, so I could never really get a clean cut without it doing too much fraying. Here, I'll show you. Actually, I've got a couple examples here. So as you can see, no matter how I get the settings, the backing was very choppy, and I've never seen this with any material I've ever used. But with General Formulations, they use the same backing as all the other materials, so I know it won't do that. And then the thickness here is the same as my vinyl adhesive material. So I'm super excited to get into this. I'll make another video going over my new glitter material and showing the process on that, but let me walk you through the process of how I am currently printing stickers. I'm sure you guys remember my other process. I used to print sheet by sheet, and then I would go on my cold roll laminator manually and I would crank it through and do 40 inches of sheets at a time. That's changed a little bit since I've got some new machines. The new process is I will go ahead and print roll to roll as much as I need. It's not always an entire roll, so sometimes I'll do a quarter of a roll or an eighth of a roll, and I'll cut it off. I'll walk it over here. I will attach it to this bar, which is removable, and I have little clamps on each side to keep it in place. I will feed it up through here. You can see here's the laminate. This is super cracked. I know, I didn't think it was going to work. I bought it used, but somehow it's laminating still like a champ. But I will feed it through here. I've got cardboard under there to keep the laminate from touching the bottom roll. All right, feed it through here. This will come out, and then I'll have a blank, one of these blank rolls right here, and I'll attach it, and I'll just re-roll it myself as it's coming through. And it's been a pretty good process so far compared to that the old way to do it, but it's definitely got some room for improvement. Two big things I really want in a laminator is A, heat assisted or heat assistance, I guess I would say. That way I can laminate my UV prints, and then two, I probably say a re-roll mechanism. That way I can, instead of having to do it myself over here, I can just attach it down here and it just automatically re-rolls it. But after it is completely laminated, I will walk it back over here, and it'll look a lot like this, but it'll just be laminated. And I will attach it to here. As you can see, I already have another one I did. I'll attach it here, feed that through here, and then it'll just cut the entire thing. So it really did cut down on the amount of manpower that requires to laminate. I know this thing gave me hell for the first couple weeks to a month that I had it, but slowly I've been repairing it, and I finally got it to a point where I can do an entire roll without spending every single 40-inch sheet through a manual laminator. So it's been super helpful, and it's been a really good process. This machine's still holding up like a beast, but it would be nice to have 54 inches of material so I can print way faster. So yeah. And just to give you a glimpse, I gave you a short glimpse earlier of what the UV printer can do. The main thing that I focus on with the UV printer is white ink and the gloss ink. So you can see here, I can add matte or gloss finish to it, and it looks really good. Here's a couple examples I did here for a photo shoot recently for the website. All right, so that looks super cool. Another thing that's really nice is being able to do clear stickers. So you can see here, if I peel this off, there's going to be a white backing. Otherwise, if there wasn't a white backing, the text would be just see-through. The white backing pretends as a white vinyl, essentially. So I'm able to create cool white effects for certain labels, and I really enjoy doing that because it opens up the spectrum of what kind of prints I can do. Next, this is another cool thing. So this is a unlaminated white vinyl print. You can kind of see it has a bit of a texture here. It's hard to see on the camera, but the texture is definitely noticeable. This is a removable sticker. This is something new I'm introducing. So pretty much you can set it anywhere you want. Come back to it months later and peel it off and put it somewhere else. Super cool, very flexible, especially for people who don't want permanent stickers. It doesn't leave any residue. Has these little air pockets inside the adhesive. That way it doesn't actually bond to the actual surface. So this is what a holographic sticker looks like when it's printed on the solvent printer. There's no white ink, so as you can see, the colors bleed through into the holographic material. If I were to use white ink, it would be the pure color that I set rather than the color plus the holographic combination shine to it. So some people prefer this style. Some people prefer the the white backed essentially. I got gloss and matte here. As you can see, the difference does change in color. Another 3D embossed, super stuff. I've been doing a lot of cool space themed stuff and space themed companies just to kind of add a little bit of a twist to it. I want to show you right now. So I told you I can't laminate the UV results on the cold laminator. So I want to show you kind of why and what it does. So if I can get in close enough here, you can kind of see it here. It's hard to pick up on camera. You can see it down here at the bottom. The UV printer leaves a texture behind, and I kind of showed you that on here. It leaves a texture behind, so when that happens, the difference in the negative space where it's just material versus the texture of the UV, it leaves little air pockets. Okay, and that's something that the cold laminator has a hard time getting because the laminate isn't heated up to be molded to every little pocket. So when you have a heat assisted laminator, then you're able to kind of mold it to the height difference in the texture. Same thing for the previous glitter. You can kind of see a little bit of air pockets in there. That wouldn't happen with a heat assisted laminator. So again, dilemma on whether I want to do a new solvent printer with white ink so that I can laminate it no problem, or a UV ability to do UV lamination with a heat assisted laminator. So this is kind of all the different scenarios and different type of stuff I'm working on right now. This is the full range of products minus, I'd say, vinyl banners. Those are pretty fun too. I can do pretty much any size up to 5.5 feet by 150 feet if needed. So yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll make another video soon going through my exact process and what I'm actually doing when I print it and then roll it and then laminate it and how I set that up. So and I'll also make a video on this new glitter material. So cool. See you guys.